Hello and welcome to the vlog.
That's going to be tricky.
We are watching the Super Bowl as a family. I'm actually about to break my book open.
Come on, Dad, just drink it.
Because I want to get at least to the halfway point before it's time to go to bed tonight.
It's 40 degrees below. Do you think we're standing here for fun?
So yeah, welcome to the vlog. So I am still reading Junie by Erin Crosby Eckstein. This is good so far. It is about a girl named Junie whose sister died, and she is trying to prevent herself from being sent away from the plantation that she is currently on. I say sent away because she's the maid of the daughter of her owners. And the daughter is getting married. So she accidentally summons her sister's ghost. Well, we think it's the sister's ghost. I don't know yet. But I'm intrigued because I like magic and witchcraft and stuff. So I'm gonna read some more and I'll report back. Listen, mess around, I might turn into an Eagles fan. They out there playing football. Let me go find me a what's his name? Jalen Hurts. Let me go find me a jersey. I'll be back. I really thought that I was gonna sit here and read, but the Eagles are putting on a show. I haven't been this tuned into a football game in a very long time, let alone the Super Bowl. Now, why would you do that?
Eat it.
Y'all heard him knock his bowl over, right? You know they already be saying they gonna call the people on me because you thirsty. I don't like your attitude, little boy. Here, come say hi to the people. Come.
I want to get into halftime. I want to say, guys, we're up 24-0. They haven't.
The Super Bowl was great. That was a good time. Congrats to all Eagles fans out there. Excuse me. I didn't get no reading done, but I'll do that tomorrow. I think I'm gonna sit up and edit the vlog for this week, and then I'll go to sleep. Maybe. We'll see how I feel once I actually lay down. Book reading update. About at the halfway point of Junie. I'm liking it. I feel like I can tell that it's a debut. Like, there are some bits with the writing. It's not bad, but it's like not cohesive, maybe I want to say. I don't know. I'll flesh out that thought later. I need to think about what I'm trying to say. It's a ghost story. I don't know if I told y'all that, but it is a ghost story. Junie has summoned the ghost of her sister, and the ghost of her sister is trying to get her to do something. So we're kind of putting the pieces together. It's a ghost story mystery type situation, and I am enjoying it. Again, I'm about at the halfway point, so I'm gonna try to finish it between tomorrow. It's midnight. It's Monday midnight. So between Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm gonna try to finish. I started 2 different audiobooks. One of them is I Got Abducted by Aliens and Now I'm Trapped in a Rom-Com, by Kimberly Lemming. Thank you to Liberal FM for the audio arc. It's funny. Okay, she gets beamed up into a spaceship, and girl, they end up on this other planet. There's a talking lion named Toto. There's a very attractive alien named Soul, and she's just trying to figure out where she is. I'm about 20% of the way into that. I'm entertained. Then I came across an author that I had not heard of before. His name is Ishmael Reed. He is a black author. He has a book that was released in 2022 called The Man Who Haunted Himself. I'm about 35% of the way into that. I'll finish it tomorrow. And it is about a black man who is passing, who kind of grew up like he was like the weird kid or whatever into science, and his mama caught him trying to take a boy's brain out at one point. The neighbor's son, I don't fucking know. And he goes on to go to school, passes all of his classes and such, but figures out how to really do a brain transplant. So they've transplanted his brain into the brain of somebody else because he had cancer. And he was like, y'all should transfer my brain before the cancer gets to my brain into the body of this brain dead white boy. So now he's living his life in this boy's body, trying to pretend like he remembers the boy's life when he doesn't, because it's not his life. It's interesting. I'll wait until I get to the end, because I can't really tell you what is it about? Like, what is this conversation we're trying to have? I don't really know. But it's interesting nonetheless. I do have some other books by this author that I want to get, some of his earlier works. Next on my list that I would like to tackle this week, might take me longer. I want to read They Were Her Property. I've heard great things about this book. It might be a slow read. I do have the audiobook, so I'm going to try to do both. I think I want to properly annotate this. So like, I have tabs. I just don't know where they are right now off the top of my head. But if I can find them, I want to like actually tab and like, legit annotate this. I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna sit up and at least read the introduction. It's 205 pages or so, and then the other 70 pages are the notes, bibliography, acknowledgments, and such. So yeah, I grabbed this the other day when me and my best friend went to the nice Barnes and Nobles. So yeah, I just need to figure out like what I want to, like what I want my tabs to mean. So I'll probably do one that's like new information, like new to me information. Reactions, and like things for quotes, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I think the other thing that I want to, I don't know. I'll figure it out. Once I figure it out, I'll come back and show y'all. I sincerely need to do a flip through of my reading journal for y'all. Maybe I'll do that later in the week. Maybe I'll do that later in the week. I'm kind of getting sleepy, so we'll see what happens. I stand corrected. I don't have any tabs, so I'm just gonna tell you how I normally annotate. Maybe later on I'll like buy some tabs and we'll go back and tab the pages. Good morning. I have to go get some blood work done. Normal routine stuff. And then I'll come home. I don't have anything else that needs to be done. It's supposed to snow tonight into tomorrow. So I'll probably see if Mom wants me to grab anything else from the grocery store. Other than that, I'm gonna listen to the rest of The Man Who Haunted Himself while I'm out running about. And that's it, really. I'm still crusty, but alas, here we are. I'm still listening to The Man Who Haunted Himself. I have about 20 minutes left, so thank you. I'll come back with a thank you again, with a like full report of what I think. I don't have bad thoughts. I just don't know that this was where I should have started with his work. Looking for books is so hard sometimes. It's not hard. It's I be losing myself. Okay. Hold that thought. Okay, I don't know which cover I want. I think I'm gonna go for the one on the right. I think. And I'll try to find the one on the left later on if I really enjoy the book. So yeah, it's not that I have bad thoughts. I don't think that I should have started reading his work with that particular book. It's not bad. It's interesting. But I'm confused, and I know that I don't actually understand what's going on. So getting mumbo jumbo so that I can try mumbo jumbo and see how that goes. Okay, I finished The Man Who Haunts Himself, or The Man Who Haunted Himself by Ishmael. It's definitely a conversation in race. Excuse me, and I think it's a deep dive into how race and societal standards take over our minds. Which then in turn, like, I don't really know. So the main character is a black boy who is, I'm gonna use the word weird for lack of better terms, right? He's obviously very, very smart, but he becomes fascinated at a young age with science and like makes it his life. When he gets older, he gets diagnosed with cancer. He has the idea to take his brain and put it into the body of a brain dead white boy before the cancer takes over, right? So that him and his partner can prove that this is a possibility. Like, this is something to do. So he wakes up and he's in this white boy's body. It's very much given Frankenstein. But he has his own memories. He doesn't have the memories of the white boy whose body he's in. So he gets to live this experience of being privileged, but is realizing that with his smarts and his knowledge of being a black person, right? Because of mind, he is a black person, right? And he has those experiences. He can't really relate to the people that the body he's in used to relate to, right? Like, he sees things differently, although he has all this access and stuff. So we kind of follow him through navigating that. And there are all of these other conversations, right? Like, it's definitely a study in race. I'm gonna have to see if I can find a physical copy of it and read the physical copy, and like annotate and really like spend some time with it, because a large majority of it went over my head. Like a large majority of it like smooth over my head. So I don't, like I said earlier, I don't necessarily think that that's where I should have started with his work. I probably should have started with Mumbo Jumbo, but I have it now. Don't know if I'll read it in February. I might try, but I'm not gonna make any promises. It might get read next month. We'll see. We shall see. But the guy in the in Barnes and Nobles was like, oh, people are really like, the way that he said it, I didn't like it. And I think, you know, I don't ever be known when people flirt with me versus with they're being nice. But he was just like, oh, all of a sudden people are looking him up. And I'm like, well, yeah, I think people are looking for, I'm sorry, the tism is fighting back, because this is the second time that I've had a similar conversation, and that I've given my perspective and a man has taken it the wrong way. But anyway, I said, I think people are looking for the Black literary greats, right? Like, usually when you Google that, you find Zora Neale Hurston, Toni Morrison, James Baldwin, who are great, but there's more out there and people are looking for more, right? Like, just like I got to meet Walter Mosley last week, people don't realize that he has 62 books out. Like, he is one of our greats, right? I think people are looking for more. But when I said that, he was like, I guess he took it as if I was like discrediting like Toni Morrison, Zora Neale Hurston, or whatever the case may be, and that's not what I'm doing. But people are looking for more, right? Especially when you go into a store like Barnes and Nobles when they barely have a selection. So then he's like, oh, well, did you see the Black History Month tables? Yeah, I saw them. I was like, I have most of the books that are on them. Like, I have them, or I've read them already. And he was like, oh, yeah, watch who you're talking to. But with that said, I feel like people are looking for more. They're looking for more. And I think that's a good thing. I hope that I'm encouraging you to look for more, right? Because when we think about classics, when we think about the literary greats, I don't want us to just box ourselves in. I want us to look farther, which is why when I was, if you guys are in the Discord a couple of weeks ago, I asked you guys, well, I asked them, what do they think of when they think of classic literature, right? And why is it that when we think of classic literature, we only think of white books? Why is that, right? Like, put that in your mind. Figure that out, right? So, I'm doing my part, but y'all gotta do your part too. It was just like, you know, he was like, but then he was like, oh, well, I have a soft spot for Zora Neale Hurston. And I'm like, I mean, everybody has a soft spot for Zora Neale Hurston. Like, you should, but there are more authors out there. I think Zora Neale Hurston herself will want us to be looking deeper than just her. You want to know something that y'all also don't like to talk about? Zora Neale Hurston was a witch. There's hoodoo all up and through her work. Zora Neale Hurston was a witch. She would definitely want you to do your research. Zora Neale Hurston will want you to go deep. And then once you got to the deep, she would want you to go farther than that. I'm probably saying too much. All right, let me take this stuff in the house. I need to eat something. I didn't take my medicine today. My head is hurting. Let me go. I'm gonna go get myself together and stop informing y'all that people are witches. I look how I look. It's more the time. Back in the before times, my mother used to all but be the weather person. Okay? The snow could be on the other side of the country, or the hurricane in the middle of the ocean. And Gay would lick her finger and do like this here. and be like, we need to go to the grocery store because we need bread, water, maybe a bag of rice.
Oh, God.
Because there's a storm coming. Now, I don't know if the tides are shifting and now it's become
your thing.
My thing.
That's what's
all of a sudden.
That is it.
Because I came in here, I rolled over and I was like, oh, it's supposed to snow later. So in my head, I'm like, let me see if we need anything from the grocery store because it's supposed to snow. And I came in here and I said, it's supposed to snow later. And my mother said, it is. It's like 2 weeks in a row now. I think something might be wrong with her. My mother used to, during hurricane season, she would have the weather station on a loop. Like, just because. You could walk in a room at any given moment. She'd be like, the hurricane name is... And it's another one right behind it, but... She's laughing because I'm not lying to y'all. I promise that was my childhood. So these last couple of weeks, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with like the tide shifting. It's just alarming to me because I don't think little Shelby would have ever imagined a time when my mother could not descriptively tell me the weather. I would walk in the hallway and not have on. She'd be like, put a coat on because it say that it's 40 degrees, but it feel like 27 degrees. And by tonight, everything is gonna freeze and it's gonna be black ice or something. Like my mother could very much in detail tell you the weather. It's just a little alarming because I'm like, what happened to my mother? Then the other night she came in my room and was like, look out the window, it's snowing hard. I'm like, who are you? Where's my mom?
That wasn't weather related.
It was my mother. So I guess it's becoming my thing now. So it's only supposed to be like a little bit of snow. It's supposed to start at 3. And then by like 8-9 p.m. it turns to rain. So it ain't gonna be.
We were supposed to get snow today.
Yeah. So I just figured we could.
One of us needs to check. I'm glad you checked.
And then I think it's supposed to like rain all day tomorrow. Yeah, it's gonna rain most of the day tomorrow. But then I think the issue is gonna be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We in the teens. So we're gonna get ice. I just had to talk to somebody about that because I was like, my mother, she really used to. You and Auntie Pat.
I did.
Y'all that was like the thing. I don't know what that was. I don't know. You want to know what I think it is? Adela became the weather person.
Oh. I was just thinking about that.
Adela became the weather person. Because Adela will call and be like, y'all got stuff in the house? Because y'all supposed to get... She lived 100 states away. So. Yeah, okay. I didn't mean to make you laugh. I'm sorry. But Adela is 100 states away. Adela called quick and be like, it's a storm coming. Did you see she cussed at me? But she ain't cuss Adela.
No, what?
Because I put on Blue Sky, I said, I have 2 questions for the Lola Bean household. 1, does Jimmy have a Ninja Creamy? And 2, a Ninja Creamy?
What is that?
It make ice cream.
Oh, yeah, she cussed.
So that was my first question. Does Jimmy have one? And then my second question was, when was the last time Jimmy got a new apparatus? I'm sitting in the car because I have a doctor's appointment. I don't feel good. I have some sort of cold or something. I'm trying to get rid of that before this weekend. So this week I finished a total of 3 books, maybe more. Let's check Storygraph. A lot of you guys are asking, what do I use to track my reading? Excuse me, Storygraph is the answer. I use Storygraph. It's Black owned. It is Black owned woman owned. So all right. So I finished The Man Who Haunted Himself. I told y'all about that. I told y'all I don't think that's the correct place that I should have started Ishmael Reed's work, but it was good. Just don't really know what it was about. It's one of those things where, like, I know that the writing is good. I know that it was a good story. Like, I enjoyed my time listening to it. I just didn't really understand it. And I think that's something that y'all should consider more often, because I feel like a lot of times people are, like, completely bashing these books. And it's not that the book was bad. It's that you just didn't understand it. Next, I got abducted by aliens, and now I'm trapped in a rom-com by Kimberly Lemming. I also thought that was really good. I listened to the audiobook for both of those books, actually. And Kimberly Lemming uses the C word for the male appendage. Absolutely hate that. So I won't be reading any of her other books. But this one was really good. It's funny. If you're looking for something that's like cozy and goofy, Kimberly Lemming is where you should go. It's romance, but has science fiction aspects to it. It was funny. I laughed a lot. I was definitely invested in the relationships. It was good. The ebook that I read, The Filth Kings by Masterpiece. This is her first release of this year, and when she says Filth Kings, she means Filth Kings. These men were nasty, but this is also a dark romance. I think this is the first romance that I've read that was this dark. Masterpiece has morally great men that I enjoy. Bow Down is one of them, but this one was like really, really dark. So it tells a story of a girl who has a like gossip blog who is trying to take down this family of very bad men. And then her and her best friend end up involved with the both of them. That's all I'm gonna tell you. It's spicy as fuck. It's dark. There's murder. Like, if you ever felt like, oh, I'm reading a romance and the only thing that is missing is no one's died, this is the romance for you. This is the one for you. It was so good. And then last but certainly not least, I read Junie by Erin Crosby Eckstein. I've been mispronouncing her name. I have things to say about this book. It's not bad. It's not for me. I can see people who are just venturing into just venturing into historical fiction, loving a book like this. I described it on my threads and on Blue Sky as like a beloved for beginners, and I mean that in the most nice, nasty way possible. There are just so many things that didn't necessarily make sense, and that really felt like it was a like the author was following a checklist of sorts. Like, oh, these are a list of things that belong in a Black historical fiction. Or like she was given a prompt and was told to write a story about write a coming of age story about a Black girl who happens to be a slave, and add historical fiction to it and make sure there is all of these other aspects of slavery. Like, those things have to be in it too. The writing felt like a debut, right? So that's an area where the author could grow. There were issues with the pacing. I feel like it was kind of like slow and steady in the beginning, and then the second half of the book you almost get whiplash because everything moves really fast, and there are things that were tied up really quickly. There's a random lesbian couple that doesn't necessarily add to the plot. Like, when I say it doesn't add to the plot, because it sets it sets up a certain aspect of it, but it's one of those things where had they been lesbian or not, the thing probably would have happened. Like there could have been any kind of reveal for that part of the book. Does that make sense? So it's like, oh, you want to make this book inclusive, but you're not doing that in a well thought out way. I did do some more research on the author, and apparently I ignored all of the signs. One of those signs being the Good Morning America sticker on the front of the book. That should have told me everything that I know. Everything that I need to know, I should say. And that's no shade. If you read Good Morning America books with that book club and you find them good, okay, that's fine. I usually don't have a good time when I read Good Morning America books, and that's not for all of them. There are just some that missed the mark, and this was one of them. I did see that she made a list on her social media of things that, or books that inspired Junie, and I will be venturing into a deep dive, because one of them she said was Sing Unbury Sing by Jasmine Ward, and girl, you won't play in my fave's face like that. Ain't no way in fucking hell. She also said Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, and I am just confused as to how Jane Eyre could inspire a story about a slave. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I will be reading Jane Eyre at some point next month. What else? She said Homegoing by Yagasi, which is another book that I didn't really like. The only thing with that one was, it's not that I didn't think that the writing or the story in itself wasn't good. I can see the vision. Like, I see that Yagasi is very well written and like did her research and so on and so forth. It was just the repetitiveness of the story, and I know that is because she was trying to depict the generational cycles attached to slavery from all of these different aspects through all of these different generations. And I just felt like it didn't wrap up. Like, that book could have been 90 pages shorter and we still would have gotten the same impact, or whatever the case may be. So like, I didn't enjoy my time reading that, but not in the same way that I didn't enjoy Junie. Message, because y'all just be like, oh, it was bad. Why was it bad? There's no nuance. Y'all don't be saying why things are bad, or y'all don't be using y'all words or nothing. But yeah, hey y'all, I'm getting my nails done.
Oh my god, that is so cute. It's the cutest thing ever.
We are out to celebrate that it has been a year since my surgery. I didn't record any in the house of me putting on makeup or anything. I was rushing, but I'll try to record some dinner. My friends be saying crazy shit, so I don't know how that's gonna go. Hi, I have not turned this camera on. I've been living my life in the moment, which has been very, very fun. I decided to take 2 weeks off from posting vlogs because the numbers just weren't doing what I want them to do. So I'm gonna try to be a little different in this vlog. So we'll see what happens. But I have a lot of book stuff to show you. I'm not even gonna bother really doing a reading update, because by the time you guys see this, you will have seen February's reading wrap-up video. So kind of got a book haul. I want to show you the 4-ish books that I want to, 3 of them I want to finish. 1 of them I at least need to start this week, well, next weekend. So I want to show y'all that. y'all might be hearing a lot in the background. My child and the television. But it is Sunday, February the 23rd. Y'all can see that. And it's almost 1 o'clock. I got some rest today. I needed it. Last night I went out with my friends. They all came together to have dinner with me to celebrate my 1-year anniversary of my open heart surgery, which was really cool. We had an amazing time. I have some clips of the food, so I'll place that on the screen somewhere so y'all can at least see that. The food was amazing. So that was a good time. I love my friends. I'm not really good at celebrating myself and like celebrating the milestones that happened to me, but I wanted to celebrate this and I wanted to live it like in the moment with him. It was important. I did a thing. I survived open heart surgery. So that was a good old time. Book stuff. So first, I got my Cover Snob book in the mail. It is Flirting with Disaster. It is beautiful. I love it. This one says it's been years since Mina separated from her husband, Nikhil. Years since they first laid eyes on each other in their home state of Texas. Years since they spontaneously wed in Las Vegas, and she felt true happiness. Now a high-powered lawyer on Capitol Hill and ready to move on, at least she thinks so. With another successful lawyer, Sheikh, Mina has returned to Texas, this time finally to obtain a divorce. But there's one thing Mina didn't account for: a hurricane forming in the Gulf, veering right toward them and giving them no choice but to hunker down in the home they built together. Suddenly she finds herself trapped amid gale force winds, pelting rain, and the man she once loved. I love a second chance romance. I think I have the audiobook for this, so this might be an audiobook for me, because I want to keep my pretty copy pretty. So good. If you guys want to sign up for Cover Snob, it is a black woman owned romance subscription. It is bi-monthly. It's awesome. It also came with a bookmark, and it comes with a signature card that I think is in my room on my desk. I didn't grab it, but I have it, and I'm excited about that. I'm so excited. I love it. Jay is awesome. As I've had some like health things going on the last couple of weeks with the Chiari and whatever the case may be, I had kind of slowed down with making content for Cover Snob, and she was so understanding. She's so cool. We had her on the podcast. If you don't know, I do have a podcast, The League of Extraordinary Readers. She was on the pod, and she's just so cool. I absolutely love her. Next, my friend Courtney got me this last night as a gift. It is We Rip the World Apart by Charlene Carr. This one says, a sweeping multi-generational story about motherhood, race, and the secrets in the lives of 3 women. When 24-year-old Karila discovers she's pregnant with a child she isn't sure she wants, her struggle to understand her place in the world as a woman who is half black and half white, yet feels neither, is amplified. Her mother, Evelyn, fled to Canada with her husband and their firstborn child during the politically charged Jamaican exodus of the 1980s, only to realize they come to a place where black men are viewed with suspicion, a constant and pernicious reality Evelyn watches her husband and son navigate daily. Years later, in the aftermath of her son's murder by the police, Evelyn's mother-in-law, Violet, moves in, offering young Karila a link to the Jamaican heritage she has never fully known. Despite Violet's efforts to help them through their grief, the trauma they carry grow into the traumas they carry, grow into a web of secrets that threaten the very family they all hold so dear. In the present day, Karila, prompted by fear, uncertainty about the new life she carries, must come to terms with the mystery surrounding her family's past and the need to make sense of both her identity and her future. This sounds really good. This might be on my list of things for Women's History Month. I love when my friends gift me books. I love it. Another gifted book. I got mail from a publishing company. This is from Flatiron. Hold on while I try to open this. My child senses bubble wrap, so he is in my face. Here, take it and go. Thank you for taking it nicely. So I have an advanced reader copy for In My Remaining Years by Jean Grey. Jean Grey is a rapper. She is an artist, a rapper, a comedian of 25 years. And this is her memoir, I believe. So it says a collection of essays. A collection of morbidly funny, intensely personal essays by cult fave and multi-hyphenate artist Jean Grey. In My Remaining Years debunks the myth that coming of age narrative should be reserved for the kids, providing a much needed rallying cry for those of us still trying to figure it out in our 40s. These laugh out loud essays cover everything from aging gracefully with and without Botox, what happens when you look for community and almost start a cult, befriending childhood demons, hi Mumra, gender fluidity in middle age, the cost of being too fabulous, and the various gymnastics we do to avoid becoming our parents, taking us from her childhood in 1980s New York City to present-day Baltimore. In these pages, Jean Grey captures magic in a bottle, distilling the feeling of hanging out with your smartest, funniest, and most brutally honest best friend. Oh, I feel like I want to push this up and read it now. This sounds so good. It sounds like something that I might like fly through easily. Okay, this just put a dent in my plans for the week. So let's see. Okay, next up, I did some a little bit of book shopping. Just a little bit. Because we're celebrating my life, and the one thing that I love is literature. So I did that. So speaking of Jay of Cover Snob, she has a book club situation. We have a group chat on Instagram where we buddy read things together, and I didn't get a chance to read this with them, but it's something that's been on my list for a while. It is thick. This is by Tressie McMillan Cotton, and this is a collection of essays that I've heard great things about. So it says a striking and daring collection described by best-selling author Roxane Gay as transgressive, provocative, and brilliant. Thick is igniting a bolder conversation on politics, pop culture alike through the lens of modern Black feminism. Tressie McMillan Cotton, award-winning professor and co-host of Here to Slay, named a Best Podcast of 2019 by Marie Claire, is one of the most bracing thinkers on race, gender, capitalism of our time. In this genre-busting work boasts 8 essays on beauty, media, money, and more, crafted with writing that is deft as it is amusing, probing everything from LinkedIn and Saturday Night Live to sexual violence and infant mortality. McMillan Cotton's vigorous and unforgettable voice never fails to be painfully honest and gloriously affirming as it holds a mirror to your soul and to that of America. I'm very, very, very excited to read this, and I'm glad that I kind of had the fire put under me, to finally get a copy. It's like I've seen this book around. I've seen it talked about time and time again. So I am very interested in reading this. And it sounds like these two might be things that I need to read together. So we'll see that. So the next three were prompted buys that kind of stem from me reading Junie by Erin Crosby Eckstein. Spoiler alert, it wasn't my favorite. And I think I'm going to do a separate video included with me reading these three books to really kind of do a deep dive into why I didn't like it. There were some things with the pacing that I didn't necessarily like. There were some things with the story in itself. And because I didn't enjoy it, it made me go and look for the author and to see what the author had to say. I needed to see what the author looked like. I needed to see I needed to hear her voice. I needed to hear her cadence. I needed all of those things to really kind of figure out how I was feeling about the book. And so she said a few books that inspired Junie, A Story About a Slave. She said one of them was Jane Eyre. I have not read anything by the Bronte sisters in over a decade, since I was in college. I know that overall I'm going to enjoy this because the writing is phenomenal. I just need to read this to try to understand how this could inspire A Story About a Slave. Okay, cool. Next on the list was Sing Unburied Sing. This is technically a ghost story. Not technically, it is a ghost story. And Junie is a ghost story in its own right. So I'm going to reread this because I need to be able to place. I think what I'm doing is I'm hoping that my child is such a troll. I'm hoping that reading these may change my perspective. I think a lot of the times when there's a thin line between not liking something and not understanding something, and maybe I don't understand Junie. Now, I am a damn good reader. I read very, very well. I think my comprehension skills are up there, but I'm trying to give this book the benefit of the doubt. I do think that it is a historical fiction that is for beginners. And when I say that, it's no shade. I'm not calling y'all dumb. I'm not saying anything, but I'm not saying anything negative, I should say, because people take that in a way, which, if the shoe fits, wear it here. But I think we enjoy things differently depending on where we are in our reading journey, and that's no tea, no shade. As you become a better reader, right, as the things that you read get more complicated, your reading style changes. It's just a thing, right? So me reading something like that, I was anticipating more, but I could see someone that is just venturing into historical fiction loving Junie. I can see that. Not wrong. Not no. Okay? And then, last but not least, she didn't necessarily mention this book, but I had a conversation with one of my friends about how I was feeling about Junie, and she said the way that I felt about Junie was how she felt about this book in particular. I remember reading this. I think I liked it at the time. So I'm gonna try it and see. Okay, Conjure Woman. So these three are because of Junie, and we'll see what happens. Then Hours came out in paperback. I've been wanting to read this for a while. I told Jess, Bridget, and Danya that we could read this together. This is me telling them that I'm probably going to start this without them. I'm probably going to start it without them. I'm sorry, friends. I'm very sorry. I love y'all. But this is a lot less intimidating than the hardcover is. Like, this I can read. That hardcover is a weapon, boy. A weapon. But this I can read. Like, this, I can find myself just
it's a space where unique elements come together
diving into this and getting lost. I'm gonna see when they want to read it, and then we'll go from there. And then the last thing that I got for myself is Original Sin. This is by Eve L. Ewing. This is the miseducation of Black and Native children and the construction of American racism. Oh boy. It says, if all children could just get an education, the logic goes, they would have the same opportunities in adulthood. But this tour de force shows that the opposite is true. Instead of being the great equalizer, the school system prepares children to expect unequal treatment throughout their lives. This is a conversation that I have been having, unbeknownst to me. Like, I kind of knew what I was saying, but I didn't really know what I was saying. It's been an ongoing conversation that I've been having about how Black academics treat people that don't have the same level of education as they do. I think there is a sense of hierarchy and authority that comes with Black academics because they have all of these degrees, which is a great accomplishment. I'm not second guessing that at all, but there is just a tone that comes with it and a level of argument that comes when a level of disagreement that comes when they are faced with intelligence that goes against what they know as intelligence. And I think this book is going to take a deeper dive into that, or the beginnings of that, I should say. And I'm really enjoying that. I know I'm really going to enjoy that conversation. Okay, next are all the things that I would like to finish and accomplish this week. God willing, and the creek don't rise. So, currently I have going The Turner House by Angela Flournoy. I got this because I saw the cover of her new book that's coming out later this year, which is called, why can't I think of the name of it right now? The Wilderness. It's called The Wilderness. I'll put it on the screen somewhere. Very excited about that. Very excited about that book. But it made me realize I hadn't heard of this author before, wanted to read her work. I am enjoying this. It's moving a little slow for me, and there are some other things that I want to finish before the month is out. So I might pause this. Shout out to Storygraph for giving me the opportunity to pause books that I know that I'm going to go back to. That is mad dope. Then I want to read The Neighbors and Other Stories by Diane Oliver. This I may start today, but now I'm kind of confused. Do I start this or do I start Jean Grey? Do I start this or do I start Jean Grey? I don't know, but we're going to see where I land. I've been wanting to read this for a long time. Diane Oliver is a novelist that actually unfortunately died very young, and this is a collection of her short stories. I've wanted to read this for a long time. I'm finally going to do it. Book club pick, Go Tell It on the Mountain by James Baldwin. I want to immersively read this. I need to, at the latest, start this next weekend so that I am reading it in time for the book discussion. Jess and I are doing a joint book discussion, and then we'll talk about it on the podcast as well. So this. And I think this is going to be the one that I annotate. I think I'm going to try to legit annotate it and put tabs in everything because I got tabs that match. Okay, so I'm gonna try, y'all. I'm gonna try. Someone asked me to do like a video on annotating, and I'll try to cover some of it in this video, but I think I'll try to do something for like Instagram shorts and things like that. And then something that I've been taking my time getting through, I'm not that far into it, but I'm gonna try. My goal is to do an hour a day. They Were Her Property. This has such good information in it. It's a bit of a harder read. It's nonfiction. It's covering a lot about how white women actually own slaves, contrary to popular belief. And it's just very eye-opening. I think it was interesting that I started this while I started reading Junie, because Junie kind of covers some conversation about this, like the way that Junie is treated by her mistress is very it's just cool to see the fact behind that. So that's what I got going. Well, that's what I want to, these are hot. These are the 4 on my list, now 5. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. I'm gonna start Neighbors and Other Stories, and I'll show you guys what I do to annotate. Okay. The boy found a squeaky toy. What I'm about to say is something that only people that live in the Northeast will understand. Or I'll say people that live in places that get all 4 seasons. 40 degrees feels like 80 when it's been 10 or below. It is beautiful outside right now. And I know some people that live in places that, like California, like I said to Jess, I said, girl, 40 degrees feel like 80. Like, it feel like a balmy spring day outside. It's a heat wave. She was like, 40 degrees, I would like to bundle up. And I'm like, girl, you must want to have a heat stroke on accident. It's warm out here. But all of that to say, it's a little nice outside. But it's funny how the weather is. So basically I have a double ear infection. She did a throat culture for strep. They're gonna send it to the lab because the one in came back negative. COVID negative. All of that is fine, but my ears, my throat are inflamed. So antibiotics and cough meds for me and rest. So just waiting for her to come back in, and then I will head home. I was not expecting that, like, at all. I don't advise you get a double ear infection at your big age of anything over 18. I feel like warm, microwaved unaliveness. I feel like my elders are coming to get me. Jesus Christ. I don't feel good. I'm sitting here right now because life still goes on. Y'all know I ain't really want to complain. I hate complaining. Because there are so many things in life that are going well for me. I am blessed more than I am not. So I hate complaining. So although I don't feel good, I've still been trying to be productive, albeit from the bed. I did some like backgroundy type things. Posted in the Discord. I did my journaling and stuff. I try to do my prayer journal first thing in the morning, where I do like my gratitude stuff, and then I journal at night just to like document life. So did some journaling. I've been doing a little bit of reading. what else did I do? I don't know what else I did, but I was productive. I was checking things off my checklist. The thing that I'm gonna sit here and do now is finalize some things for tomorrow's Substack post, but I'm also gonna make me some tea. Substack writing. I've been writing on my phone. I want to take that practice and put it in an actual book. I want to write by hand, but writing on my phone for now is just a little bit easier for me. So that's what I have been doing in my notes app. By the time you see this post will already be up. I'm talking about romance as a mirror, literature as a mirror. I think that reading is subjective, right? But a part of reading being subjective means that you are understanding what you're reading from your lived experience and from your current thought processes, right? So something that I have been thinking about is literature is a mirror that allows you to change the reflection that you see. I think you see bits of yourself when you're reading things, whether it is literally you and your lived experience or your perspectives, right? And as you grow, those things should change, i.e. being able to change the reflection. So that's why it's important to reread books. That's why, perfect example, the uproar about Omar Tyree and Fly Girl, right? I think a lot of people are not understanding that the connection that they have to Fly Girl is not because they thought that it was a good book, is because it's nostalgic for them. And hearing him spew certain things all these years later, right? You have different perspectives now of what you read and so on and so forth because you have grown as a person. Does that make sense? So like that could be an example of literature as a mirror. My God, today I don't feel good. Let me get some tea so I can sit here and write some more, and then I'll take Gunner in the outside for his walk. It's nice out. I feel like the thing said that it was like 50 some degrees outside. It's 52 degrees outside. That's a heat wave. This is the tea that I'm using. You can find this in the international aisles. They come bigger. It is honey citron and ginger tea. I just do like a heaping tablespoon and some hot water, and that's it. It tastes good. So I don't watch the news often. It's usually just like on the television when I'm sitting out here. And they just talked about a scam that's mostly getting elders, where they are being told to like take all their cash, get gold, or like I guess they're supposed to be like getting gold in exchange for their cash, and then all their money is gone. Please help your elders, the elders in your life. Talk to them, tell them not to be clicking links, tell them it's okay to ask questions, they're not bothering nobody. Stop answering unknown numbers. Stop, responding to DMs that say click this link and I obviously need to not be talking, but y'all get what I'm saying. Help your elders so that they are not getting scammed, because that's ridiculous. I hope that people make it to hell fast messing with elders. Reading so far, I've only been reading ebooks I started The Royals Jabari by Charity Shanae. It's a basketball romance. So far, so good. It's a little dark, or heavy, I should say. The female main character is like fleeing an abusive relationship. So we'll see where it goes. So far, so good. I like Charity Shanae. I've talked about her before. I'm hoping tomorrow I feel a little bit better, and then I'll put a dent in Neighbors and Other Stories. All of the reading that I thought I was going to do obviously is not going to happen this week because I am sick. Boo. But I at least want to finish Neighbors and then start Go Tell It on the Mountain by Friday. And I can do that. So that is the plan. I'm sure my mama is going to come in here in a minute and ask what we eating for dinner. So I don't think I've showed her in this vlog yet this week. So if she come in here. Look how I feel. Mind your business. I'm in the kitchen with my mama. I got me a Topo Chico because I finally found them in the store. Gunner is making noise because he wants everything. But the last time I let him in the kitchen, he stole the vegetable oil. So he's not allowed back in here. But I'm making me another cup of tea. I feel better than I did yesterday. I think tomorrow, another like good night's rest tonight, and tomorrow I should be back to like 100%, hopefully. I rescheduled record the podcast with Jess. We moved that to tomorrow afternoon because I could barely talk for real without coughing. Yeah, once I get my tea, I'm gonna sit down with you. And I'm gonna tell y'all what I've read so far this week. Would you like to say hi to my mom?
Hey, y'all.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit down in the living room. I ordered some vittles.
Did you order?
Chipotle.
Okay.
And yeah, this week was an interesting week. Being sick, having a double ear infection, and my period at the same time is how I know that God isn't a woman. Because if God was a woman, she wouldn't have did that to me. I think this vlog is just going to be a culmination of the vlogs from all of the weeks that I missed. Just so that y'all can see a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Because I know I don't have enough for this week. I know it'll be so I don't. This tea is delicious. Okay, I'm supposed to be updating y'all on what I have read this week. Also, I wanted to let you know that Jesus is delivering my food. Jesus is on his way. Where is the button? Okay. Just a little update. So far this year, I have read 20 books. Blessed be the fruit. I have to stop saying that. So 2 books that I've read. I read 10,000 Hours with the Rich Menace by Jaquel J. I think. It is exactly what the title says it is. A girl is going through, like, life is happening. Her mom passes away. And she is trying to get her life together. And she runs into a girl that is scamming. And that girl's scamming leads to an arranged marriage with a menace. That's all I'm going to tell you. The menace, his name is Maverick. Maverick is neurospicy. The baby got the diet autism, aka ADHD. And he is very interesting. I called him Mr. Autistic Kingpin. that was my name for him. I actually really enjoyed it. I don't know that I will read any of her other books. Not because this one wasn't good, but there were some things with the editing. It's not spicy. It's not spicy at all. If you are accustomed to reading like ML Bash, excuse me, sir, you don't see me talking to my friends? If you are accustomed to reading like ML Bash, India Carter, Masterpiece, anything of that nature, it's not spicy. Hey, I know I read The Fifth Kings. Why is that not on here?
Property taxes 15%. Lower costs for rentals. They cut taxes for seniors.
The bottom line, you're paying too much in taxes.
Oh, that was further up. Okay.
I'm the only candidate for governor with a detailed plan.
It's not spicy. They do be hunching, but they don't be hunching real hard. You know, there's a difference. But there was like some stuff with the editing. It's not a total big deal, but it was enough for me to be like, nah. Might don't read it again. We never know. I might. There was another book by her that I did pick up. I think it was Kasim. The book cover perked my eyes up. But when I went to read it, it's asked had I read all of these other books, and I had not read all them other books, and I'm not gonna read all them other books just to read them because it said to read those first, because I guess he's introduced. Ooh. Jesus Christ. That was that. I've started a ton of books. I'm still slowly but surely making my way, through Neighbors and Other Stories. I want to try to finish that tomorrow. I think I can. I think I could do it. Jesus. Be offense all around me every day. Ugh. Okay. The other book that I read this week is Jabari the Crescent Falls, Royals by Charity Shade. Loved it. I didn't realize that I was in the mood for a sports romance, but I was. The female main character is trying to leave an abusive situation, and she meets her favorite basketball player. It was very good. This is something that wasn't spicy. They was hunching, but they wasn't hunching real hard. He falls first, and if you like a distinguished gangster, if you like a reformed thug, this is for you. So yeah, those are 2 books that I read so far this week. Oh, I did read. I didn't track it though. At Love with War, maybe? Hold on a second. Okay, At War with Love by Maya. That I need to track. I read that last night before I went to bed. I don't know that I've read any other books by Maya. But this was a second chance romance between a
With his risk factors, his recommended LDL
couple that was together in high school, but then they went their separate ways. And the woman ends up moving back home, and they run into each other. He is a cowboy, so if you were looking for a cowboy, he is a cowboy. That was very good. Another one that wasn't very spicy is contemporary romance.
Only pay for what you need.
But yeah, I read that between like midnight and 1 a.m. this morning. So I need to track that.
Then I saw my doctor and found out I have AFib, and that means there's about a 5 times greater risk of stroke. Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go.
I hear somebody, I don't see nobody.
The stroke is always there. If you have one or more symptoms,
so that was that. And then for an audiobook, I am listening to Nighthawk by Beverly Jenkins. That is one that I have not read before. It tells the story of Ian and Maggie. And so far, Maggie is one of them heifers that she always in some trouble. But Ian is a lawman, and I feel like we may have met Ian in Topaz. I think. I don't remember, but I feel like he mentions Dixon Wildhorn in this book, so I feel like we might have met Ian before. So that's been my audiobook. It's Beverly Jenkins. She can't do no wrong in my eyes. So yeah, as y'all can tell by my cough, I need to be getting back in the bed, but I'm waiting for my food to come so that I can take all of my medicine and I can eat something. And I'm gonna do just that. I'm gonna get in the bed, and then I think, well, tomorrow I'll get up. Yes. Tomorrow I'll get up and record, and we'll see how I'm feeling tomorrow. Tomorrow will probably just be a read day. But my body doesn't feel as bad. The worst of it is the cough. I promise.
Okay, so that's the start you get from us.